Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I've talked about starting a painting over before, and we'll link to that video up above if you haven't already seen it. But today's video is about a slightly different topic, deciding that you need to continue work on a painting after you thought it was already done. In this case, I had a painting that was varnished on my studio wall, available for sale, and had been there for over 6 months, but a couple of things came together to convince me to continue it. To be clear though, this isn't a video about never feeling like your paintings are finished. I have students who struggle with reworking and overworking old paintings, and I think this mindset and way of approaching work can debilitate or at least slow down your progress. So I want to talk about both sides of this, so make sure you watch through to the end of this video. Before I dive in, if you're new, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell because I create new painting videos every Monday and Thursday. And if you find any tips on here helpful, please give this video a like so that I know to make more content like this and more artists like you can find this video. Alright, with that out of the way, let's talk about why I decided to resume work on this piece after such a long time. First things first, the first task I have is to remove the old varnish layer. Thankfully, the varnish here was Gamvar, which can be easily removed with Gamsol, my go-to solvent, but I'm simply taking a little bit of Gamsol here on a rag and gently removing the Gamvar until the painting dries totally matte. It took a little bit of trial and error to tell because the Gamsol itself has a sheen and can take a little bit to dry, but I just wait, see how the drying is going, and stay patient until I don't see any more lingering gloss. From there, I can start painting, and here's where I want to talk about why I decided to resume this piece. It was actually a combination of a number of factors. First is that a mentor of mine, whose opinion I highly respect, took a look at the painting and suggested that I do more work on it, and then show that to galleries. She said the composition was working, but there wasn't the same degree of finish I had on my other pieces. This brings me to number 2, which is that I had already wondered about this before. When I first made this piece, I actually showed it to a different mentor of mine, and at the time it didn't make sense to push the painting further, but that question had been lingering. 3, after I had more brush miles under my belt, I had a pretty clear vision of what I could improve and what I could leave as it was from the original painting. It turned out that it really didn't need a ton of work, which I think is important, and I'll circle back to this in just a minute. So if you're struggling with the same question of whether you should rework a painting, here's what I would say. First, have multiple artists you respect feel that you could and should spend more time improving a piece. And second, do you know exactly what you need to do to improve it? To elaborate on this, I want to talk about reasons you probably shouldn't spend time reworking a painting. The first thing is that you're at an early stage of your art education. If you're on the steep, exciting part of the learning curve, each painting represents an opportunity to grow by leaps and bounds. Sometimes, though, repeating an old painting encourages us to repeat old patterns, and we don't work to our potential because of it. It also gives you less experience working on every part of the painting life cycle. So for example, if you create small 6x6 inch paintings, start to finish, every day for a year, you have practice starting and finishing 365 unique paintings with unique challenges, and seeing those challenges all the way through till the end. On the other hand, if you just have 5 big canvases you slave over all year, you could learn a lot and come out with a painting you really like, but you simply have fewer opportunities to learn, fewer cycles. So if you're at the stage where you could benefit from this rapid cycle approach, lingering on old paintings probably won't help you very much. This brings me to reason number 2. Don't resume a piece if you don't know exactly what needs to be done to improve it. chances are you'll simply retrace the same steps and muddy your painting up. I think this speaks to a mindset that each painting has to be a success for you to be a successful painter, but I've found that the opposite is true. The more an artist fails, the more they learn. So don't continue a painting if it's about ego or despairing the fact that a painting didn't live up to your expectations. For our last reason, let's say that you do create a year's worth of daily paintings. Chances are, a year later, you'll see old paintings and know how you could improve them. By this point, you've had enough experience and distance to approach the painting anew without getting tripped up like you did the first time. The question becomes whether it's something you're genuinely interested in. Is the painting still worth your time? Could it rise to your new standard of working? Many times, painting I've decided to finish later no longer seem interesting to me after I've completed many more paintings, and I think that's a good thing. It means I'm growing. So when I do decide to pull a painting off the wall, I'm pretty confident that it's a sound decision for all of these reasons, both pro and con discussed here. What about you, though? Do you struggle with working on paintings for too long or never letting a painting just be done? What guidelines do you have for resuming an old painting? Let me know in the comments below because I'd love to learn from you all on this. Oh, and if you're interested in this newly refinished painting, I'm including a link to it in the description, as well as links to all of the supplies I used to make the painting itself. So if you learned something cool, please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the thumbs up button so more artists can find this video. And until next time, thank you for watching and happy painting.